going on, everybody? My name is Serge Drobin, and I'm here with you today on a lesson on Yngwie Malmsteen licks that will change your playing forever, make you a better guitar player, and really give you a lot of perspective on things that you might have never thought of in terms of your picking techniques. Before I get into today's video, make sure you sign up for my free monthly newsletter. I have a link in the description below, and basically every month I send you a free written guitar lesson as well as a Google Drive with access to all of my tabs for every video on my YouTube channel. And of course, with that, you have my email address, and I encourage you to send me any questions that you might have guitar related. All you gotta do is hit the link in the description below. That'll take you to my website, and it will be under the free monthly newsletter tab. All you do is type in your email and hit submit, and then I will send you all of these assets that I just mentioned. So with that being said, let's jump into today's video. The first Yngwie Malmsteen lick that you should learn that will help your picking and change your stylistic voicings and phrases is this one, and I will have the tabs on screen with the pick strokes for all of them. So this lick starts out with a downstroke, and it is straight alternate picking on one string. So the first thing is the 8th fret, slowly. That is one phrase of the lick. Here it is when you speed it up. You might have heard that on a bunch of Yngwie solos. Okay, Yngwie definitely uses this lick incredibly often. What really the secret to this lick is getting your right hand to just be able to do straight tremolo picking, and then accents the first note of every phrase to keep you in time from getting off with this hand, because this could confuse the brain when you have a lick that's descending and it feels like your tremolo hand is just doing the same thing. So how we combat that is accenting the first note like this. And then we just speed that up and make it smaller. And that will bring you up to full speed with that lick across all the strings. The next lick that we have is a little bit crazier, and this one starts with an upstroke. Now, I had a lot of comments on my other Yngwie video that says, Yngwie always starts with an upstroke. This is just not true at all. Although it is the case when he's doing a descending pattern across multiple strings, okay? So this is going to be one of those patterns, and you'll see what I'm talking about here, but he doesn't start every pattern with an upstroke, okay? Because when you also think about the merit behind that statement, it's literally counterintuitive, okay? If you're doing a descending lick, or I'm sorry, an ascending lick across the guitar, it literally makes no sense to start with an upstroke. Unless he was just going to go to regular economy picking, to me this sentiment makes no sense, and I've never seen him do this for ascending licks. I could be wrong, but if I am, please send a link to some video evidence so I can correct myself here. But I believe I am correct on this, and I've only ever seen him do starting with an upstroke on descending licks, like the one I'm about to show you. With the tabs on the screen, here's what this is going to look like. Okay, so Yngwie does a lot of interesting picking here. He'll do an upstroke, but instead of economy picking backwards into it, he'll just go right into a downstroke. This is very similar to gypsy picking, kind of Django Reinhardt type of style here with what he's doing with the upstroke. Okay, so he quite literally picks his upstroke here out away so he can hit the next string with a downstroke, okay? All right, the next Yngwie lick that I'm going to show you is also pretty classic in a lot of his ascending runs. Again, I have the tabs on screen for you here with the pick strokes. His pick strokes are pretty weird on a lot of stuff. You'll probably find it interesting that on certain runs, he'll actually just not pick all the notes, and he'll usually pretty much exclusively end with an upstroke when switching strings coming backwards on stuff on descending licks. So you'll see that on this one that when he's coming back, so he'll play the forward part picking all the notes, economy picking. And then upstroke on the 5th fret, pull off to the 4th fret, come with a downstroke, and then economy pick into the 5th fret, downstroke, and then upstroke 4th fret, downstroke, 7th fret, upstroke on the 5th fret. Kind of an interesting run, because normally if you economy pick that, you'd end that with an upstroke. You'd come backwards on an upstroke, but here he comes backwards and starts the new string on a downstroke. So kind of a untraditional way of picking this type of pattern, because normally I would pick it differently. But here, the Yngwie style at full speed would be like this. And finally, the last Yngwie lick that I have for you is a sweep picking pattern here, but it's not really a traditional sweep pick because it's got to be the Yngwie way, because it is the Yngwie way, which is again very similar to gypsy jazz style guitar playing, where he actually, instead of just finishing this whole sweep like you would and catching the descending run on all 3 strings with a downstroke and then finally coming back to an upstroke, switching the pick slant, Yngwie never switches his pick slant. He just does a downward pick slant exclusively 99% of the time. Of course, there's a couple exceptions where I've seen him switch, but it is pretty rare. So this, again, he's keeping the downward pick slant here. Okay, so as you can see, unlike a traditional sweep pick pattern where you would just go economy pick, or, well, really it's just a sweep pick with an upward pick slant, and you would rake all the way on an upward pick slant to the last note and then catch the B string with a downstroke. This one, he's just keeping the downward pick slant on 2 upstrokes and then immediately catching the G string with a downstroke and then ascending with the same pick slant. Kind of an interesting way to pick, and when you do it this way with the upward pick slants, it actually is quite an easy lick to do, because if you try to do it like a traditional sweep and you try to flip the pick in the middle of it, like I'm doing here, as you can see, you're gonna kind of screw it up pretty easy. So if you keep the downward pick slant, it's actually quite easy to master with that downward pick slant. So definitely a few nuggets here from Yngwie's playing. Probably a little bit different way to play a lot of these things than you're used to, especially if you're like me and just do a lot of pretty much, normal Frank Gambale type of economy picking, which is really actually kind of my style of playing. You'll really, in a way, you'll kind of yield the same results if you play that way. It's just a slightly different sound when you actually do it the Yngwie way and you actually play his licks exactly how he picks them. It'll be a little different sound and definitely a different feel altogether. I will say there are certain Yngwie licks that you must play exactly how he does, or they are nearly impossible. As you saw in today's video with some untraditional picking styles here than probably what you're accustomed to. I hope you found it interesting, and also I hope it helped your playing a lot and maybe gave you a new perspective on some different ways to play these types of licks. So with that being said, I hope this helped you out a lot today, and if I earned your subscription, I greatly appreciate it. And please like and share the video. And of course, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. I try to answer all the comments. And with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day.